Hello students, you are welcome to economics class today. This class is particularly meant for SS3 students who are preparing to write their final exams very soon. We're looking at a topic today that is very important. It is the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD. United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD. My name is Shola Oluwadare. Now, every organization has its history. The history of UNCTAD can be traced to its establishment in 1964 as a permanent intergovernmental body. Now, there were concerns raised by developing countries at that time over international market, multinational corporations, and great disparities between developed nations and developing nations. So the UN Assembly came together to establish UNCTAD at that time. And since then, its headquarters has been based in Geneva, Switzerland, but it has offices in New York and Addis Ababa here in Africa. Now, let's look at UNCTAD in the UN system, because UNCTAD has a strong hold in UN. It's actually part of United Nations Secretariat, but it deals with trade, investment, and developmental issues. Now, it reports to the UN General Assembly and the Economic and Social Council, only that it has its own membership, leadership structure, and budget. Now, UNCTAD does not operate on its own. It actually cannot operate on its own. It has some strategic partnerships now with some notable organizations. For example, it has partnership with Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, World Bank's Global Competitiveness Practice, International Chamber of Commerce, International Labour Organization. I'm sure you are familiar with some of these organizations. It is such strategic partnership that makes the organization function effectively. Now, why was the body set up? What are its objectives and functions? Number one is to assist in solving the international trade problems of the underdeveloped countries. It was also established to solve the increasing balance of payment difficulties of the developing countries, to aid in the pace of economic development of underdeveloped countries, so as to reduce the gap between them and the rich countries of the world. It was also established to address macro-level development challenges, to speed up the flow of goods across borders. And lately, this one was added, that is to increase access to digital technologies. Now, what have we discussed today? Our discussion has been based on the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, which was established in 1964 by UN General Assembly. We have also mentioned that its headquarters is in Geneva, Switzerland, with offices in New York, United States of America, and Addis Ababa here in Africa. We have also said that it is that part of United Nations Secretariat that deal with trade, investment, and development issues. And we have also mentioned that it has strategic partnership with some notable organizations. And among others, the major objective of UNCTAD is to assist in solving the international trade problems of the underdeveloped countries and to address macro-level development challenges. Now, I will not leave you until I give you an assignment. And our assignment today is on a particular issue that is very recent. Now, I want you to write short notes on how UNCTAD intends to measure the progress of Sustainable Development Goals as set out in Agenda 2030 with UN departments and agencies. That is the end of the lesson today. Please submit this assignment.